Hello Georgetown, I'm Beverly Enos and you're watching Spotlight Georgetown. You can find us Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And sometimes at other times through the years or through the week, and sometimes you'll see other repeats. If you'd like to be part of this, let us know. We'll teach you how to run the cameras. We'll teach you how to do some editing. I'd love to put you in the hot seat over here. I'm always looking for guests. And that's what makes it Spotlight Georgetown, because it is your town. It is your cable TV program. Now today we're going to be talking to Carol Jacobs, and she's a superintendent of schools here in Georgetown.
That's right.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you here.
It's great to be here every year.
I
Look
know.
forward to it.
Yeah, it's always fun. Now, how many years have you been here? We'll start with that.
This is the start of my 6th year. It's hard to believe.
6 years.
6 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm. 6 years.
Wow.
It's very exciting.
Now, you don't live in Georgetown.
I don't. I have a little condo that I rent in Newburyport. My home, where my husband and my children live, is in Western Massachusetts. And so I've like moved out here 5 years ago, almost 6. Actually, it is 6 now because it was the summer. And have loved every minute of it since I've been here.
So you kind of split where you're living.
We do. Actually, it's for our family. It's the best of both worlds because when we are at home, we're in the country. But there's no ocean there. There's no big city there. So this is perfect. The North Shore is great. It allows us to go to Boston in and out of the city or Manchester within a very short period of time. And there's ocean everywhere we look. So it really is a phenomenal opportunity for our family to have both opportunities.
Now, I remember when I first met you, you still had a son in high school.
I did, yes. Brendan is 22 now. And yes, I have 3 sons, but actually it's very interesting right now. Brendan is working in the city, in Boston, working a little job in the restaurant business. And our son Andrew works for the Pan Am Railways out of Billerica. He's a director of train operations. So they actually both live with me a good chunk of the week.
Okay.
So we've gone from me being out here by myself to 2 out of the 3 boys spend time with me, which is phenomenal. I really enjoy having their company, and it's very nice.
Yeah, it is.
It's different
nice
having
to have the
adult
back.
children. It's very different than the lifestyle when everybody's young and you're running in 10 different directions.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before we started, and I had an exchange student 31 years ago, and she came back this year, and when she was here, we had a lot of time to just sit and talk. And when she lived with me before, she was my child.
That's right.
She was a kid.
It's different.
And now she's an adult, and we sit there and talk about how we raised our children.
That's right.
And the choices we made, and it's like, wow.
Yeah,
this is pretty
It
neat.
does catch you sometimes. You're like, wow.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is my child that is a fine young man. You know, so it is very interesting. And the schedules are different, and our schedules don't always jive. But when we have an opportunity to have dinner together, or have time to just sit and watch a TV show we want to watch together, or a movie, it is really special time.
Yeah. Now, for those that haven't seen the show before or haven't met you, maybe
Yes.
they probably had to move into Georgetown yesterday,
Yes.
not to have done either
Yes.
one. But would you give us some background on yourself? And
Yeah. Yes, I've been I'd say a career educator. From the time I was actually in high school, I wanted to be a teacher. My dad was an educator. He was a health and PE teacher and an athletic director. So I sort of had it in my family and was always very interested in it. So obviously went to school for it, got a degree in early childhood, then expanded that to elementary education. And then I was a teacher in the classroom for about 18 years and teaching all different grades, because I really admire people who teach first grade for 32 years, but that wasn't me. I like change. I like things to change up and be a little different. So then I became a principal and enjoyed that very, very much, and then decided maybe I wanted to do more of a strategic thinking, kind of systemic kind of thing. So I took a position as the director of teaching, learning, and accountability, which took me a whole line to write. But what in essence it was more like an assistant superintendent for curriculum, instruction, assessment. And then went to a 2-town regional school district to become a superintendent in a place called Quabog. And then when the Georgetown job became available, it piqued my curiosity. And so I decided, well, I'll come out and see what it's all about. And from the time I was interviewed, felt completely comfortable and said, this is a place I'd love to, spend some time, and have never regretted that decision.
well, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, a new year.
Yes,
A new year.
always.
I've heard it was a busy summer.
It was a very busy summer.
I saw a new roof going up in
Yes,
Pearlie.
correct.
could hear all the banging.
Yes.
And is that a metal roof?
No,
Oh,
what they
okay.
did on that roof was just literally reconstructed the roof that was there previously.
Okay.
They left the hard concrete roof that's flat on, and then built above it.
Okay.
So
All right.
up to code, all new trusses.
And what else was done?
Well, that took a lot of time this summer. In fact, literally the afternoon the students left to probably 2 days before the students returned, there was still work being done on the roof. In fact, there is some work still being done on certain sections on Saturdays for the next couple of weeks or so. So that was very big. Then the other thing that we did is we put a lot of time and energy through working with Mike Anderson, who's been a phenomenal addition to our staff. I mean, he loves Georgetown. He takes pride in everything.
Georgetown kid.
Yeah, he takes pride in everything he does. And he put together a work plan this summer that really got a lot of things done in the buildings and grounds that really needed to be done. Very, very well orchestrated. And the schools, in my opinion, when we opened this year, were in the best shape that they ever have been, as a result of some new tiling, some just restructuring some bathrooms, cleaning things, redoing the grounds. If you go into the middle high school, you'll notice that the banking of bushes has all been weeded out, and we have a plan for the replacement of things that are going to go there. I mean, the schools that represent the values of the community, and one of the things I know that the community's felt strongly about is, these are assets, these buildings, and it is important to maintain them and to clean them. Obviously, we're putting together a feasibility study for a new building. That's obviously took a lot of time this summer, and we'll see where that goes. The teachers were very busy. We had a number of teachers who came in because one of the big initiatives that we have to respond to is we have to align our curriculum to the new national standards. So we had a number of teachers who came in this summer, wrote curriculum, revised lesson plans, units that they were developing, and did professional development. So it was just busy naturally with hiring and closing out one year financially and opening another. But on top of that, there were a number of other projects that we're very proud about, but they certainly were. It's a good thing we had 11 weeks. That's all I can say. That extra 2 weeks really helped.
Now, you always have an ambitious agenda.
We do.
What are you looking at this year? What are some of the major things that you're going to be going for?
Well, this year we had a 5-year strategic plan that we had done. It's 5 years old now. So one of the things we're doing now is looking at phase 2 of that strategic plan. So we're very excited about that because going back on that plan and reporting on it and really checking off what we had accomplished, it really did give us a strategic direction. And I think we have a lot to be proud of in what we've accomplished in the first 5 years. But now, of course, moving forward, we have to continue that and then add things that we need to do. We do need to do the Common Core work, and we do need to work on the new evaluation systems. Maybe you're reading it in the papers and hearing it on the TV. The state is requiring all districts by the end of September of next year to have completely revamped their teacher and administrator evaluation. So it's actually, I think, a very exciting opportunity, but it's daunting in terms of the amount of work that it involves just to get it done. So we're going to be working obviously on that. We also have been looking at our MCAS data now. We have a number of years of MCAS data, so we can see some clear trends. So we're busy putting in place interventions for students who need more support and time, very focused instruction, as well as looking at those students who we really feel need an additional challenge. So looking data analysis and all of those kind of things, and that's really moving forward. How are we meeting the needs of all students? We are also obviously always looking on ways to perfect the budget. We'd like to make sure it gets more and more transparent. So we may revisit the budget focus groups that we had done in the past, just as a way to engage the community a little bit more. And obviously the facilities and maintenance, plan is really critical in the long term, to protect the assets of the town.
There's a lot of kids in those schools.
There's a lot of kids in the schools, and we really do value the community's input and participation in the work we're doing in the schools. We want people to be confident. We want people to believe that the Georgetown Public Schools is committed to excellence and equity, not just in words, but in the way we do our work every day.
Now, the high school received some sort of recognition in Boston Magazine.
They did.
What was that all about?
Well, this is the second year in a row, actually,
Really?
that our school district has been recognized by Boston Magazine. As you know, they do a top 50 best schools and districts. and they look at about 7 different kinds of criteria. Some of it is per pupil expenditures, but some of it is lower class size ratios. Some of it is the number of programs you offer. There's a number of things. So last year we were 48th, recognized to be 48th as state in the districts in the state. And this year they only did high schools, and our high school was 46th. And what was really, really great was not only were they ranked 46th, but we were really in the top 10 of all of the districts in the state in our performance on proficiency on advanced placement exams. So the students in our AP classes that took the exams, if you score a 3, 4, or a 5, you're considered proficient. And our school district was ranked in the top 10 in the percentages
Wow.
of students. So it was very exciting news, and I was very happy to be able to address the teachers on the first day of school and not only recognize the work of the high school teachers, but obviously it takes many years to build, and so we
They
gave
don't appear in high school all
no,
of a
so we
sudden.
gave everybody a cheer, because it is a committed group of people, working with all students for a long period of time when they get to high school to receive that kind of recognition. So we're very excited about that.
Do we know how many schools are in the state?
Well, I would have to double check that for sure. There's 370 school districts, but there are a number of regionals.
Okay.
So what
That's right.
what I believe I read in the article was it was around 250. Wow. And they obviously published the top 50, but it's remarkable, little Georgetown, and
Right. Little Georgetown.
little
Yeah,
Georgetown.
we've got 8,000 people, and we're
Right.
still in the top 50.
But one of the things that sometimes people will ask me about the money spent on education, and I credit a lot of our results to the fact that you have X amount of dollars, and it's where you spend your dollars.
Right.
And we devote a large percentage of those dollars toward instruction, professional development, teachers, support staff. Now it means we don't have as much as we need in technology, and maybe our building maintenance has suffered a little bit as a result of those choices. But at the end of the day, we open our doors to make sure that all students get the high quality education that's going to help them be competitive in whatever they want to do in their lives beyond their time here in Georgetown.
Right. Now, new faces.
Yes, we have some new faces. Last year was a particularly challenging year in the central office, because we had some staff turnover, and we weren't able to hire full-time administrators in 2 critical positions, Director of Special Education and our Director of Finance and Operations. So we hired some phenomenal retired people for 2 days or 3 days a week, and they did yeoman's work. But what we discovered is those jobs really are full-time. And so we benefited from the fact they were experienced, so we weren't taking a risk on someone who didn't know what they were doing. But we are so excited this summer to have found 2 people who have experience as administrators working in these positions that have chosen to come to Georgetown. So we have Joan Laporto, who is our Director of Finance and Operations, and she spent most of her time in the Beverly Public Schools,
Okay.
but she also spent some time in North Andover, and most recently was in New Hampshire. So she's excited. She's a Beverly resident, and she's just immediately has just been a wonderful addition. And then Donna Straight, who is our Director of Special Education. Donna she was born and raised on the North Shore, but then ended up going to New Hampshire, worked in a number of capacities there, and then for 2 years moved to Battle Creek, Michigan. So when I interviewed her for the position, she was coming out from Battle Creek, Michigan, but she wanted to come home. So we were very, very fortunate that she wanted to come to Georgetown, and immediately, as I said, she's just hit the ground running, stepped in, and I think everybody's just really, because special education, can be very complex.
Yes.
And to have someone come in that has Donna's commitment to children with special needs and her experience and knowledge and the administrative aspects of the job and she's just got they've got great personalities. So they're people that, people approach them. They're not afraid to approach them, which is, 9/10 of the work is communication. That's one of our big things that we are working on the school committee level as well is, public relations and communication, and how do you get the word out, and how do you encourage people to, have open dialogue with you. And so we've got a few things that we'll be launching there that I'm excited about.
And what else are you looking forward to for the next year, for the next school year?
I think continuing with the work, I feel strongly that we're doing the right work, that we have a really solid infrastructure now with really good people who I think are committed to the vision and committed to the mission. And I think that's how you get results, is, putting things in place and then watching them grow, allowing them to really, move into a deeper level of understanding. I'm always excited about the kids. I'm always excited, and you've been great about featuring some of our talented young people, but I'm looking forward to seeing their successes and to putting, again, some things in place that encourage them to take responsibility and ownership for their schools and their learning, because it's not about us after they move on. It is about it is about them and their ability to make good choices and move forward. So very excited about that, and communicating, more clearly with the public. And in fact, I always say, do you know Lucy in Charlie Brown? She has a little sign. She's a psychiatrist, 5 cents. Mm-hmm. I would never say psychiatrist, but I'm tempted to go to the soccer fields and to the places in town and put my little desk out and say, superintendent is in, like, come talk to me. Because I find that a lot of things that come to my level, I find very, through the back door. So I'm always encouraging people to, approach the schools, bring things forward, email me, I'll direct you to the right person. But we can't do our work without good communication with the community. So
makes the difference.
So I'm excited about looking for avenues and ways that we can do that better.
Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing who you send my way.
All right. Okay. Well, I appreciate, again, Beverly, that you're featuring things about the schools on a regular basis.
The kids are so special.
They are, and but it means a lot to them too that you would take the time to sit and talk to them and recognize their accomplishments. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure.
All right.
Thanks so
we'll
much.
Look forward to this year.
All right.
Lots of things going on in our schools. I'm Beverly Enos. You're watching Spotlight Georgetown. Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Thank you for joining us today. Bye for now.